Okay, so I don't remember if I showed you the repair or not. So this is the repair. I'm going to, I cleared out most of the trench from rocks. I'm just going to fill it up with sand now. So hopefully it'll be less abrasive on the pipes. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but it seems like the right thing to do. Also, I don't want the sun to keep baking this PVC. It was already brittle enough, it seems like. I don't need my new stuff to go bad. So I'm going to put sand on. Alright guys, so it has been about a month now since I've replumbed this right here. Pool's been running, it hasn't been leaking. I filled the trench in with sand, then I backfilled it on top, tamped it down, then I would spray it with water, then I would fill it, then I would tamp it down, then I would spray it with water. And then it just rained. So we've done a pretty good job compacting the soil. As you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, got some spray paint. So I've learned a long time ago doing concrete your work yourself is dumb and time consuming and expensive, and you do a crappy job anyways. So I'm having a pool decking company. They're gonna replace this section right here, but then because this section by itself isn't enough to justify a concrete load and economics of concrete work out that way, we're gonna put decking in over this side too, because, well, I've always kind of wanted it there anyways. So that should work out pretty well. That's my drain valve. Hopefully that works. I haven't used it yet, but hopefully I'll be able to have a deck here. This well, hopefully I'll be able to have a decking here before the end of the week. They're going to come back afterwards and recoat all the cool decking so it'll all match and repaint it. So I don't know, something, I guess I wanted all this stuff anyway, so maybe it works out for the best. What do you think, Tanner? Okay. He did. Here it is. Forms are up, Finn. The fan. Forms are up. That's where our concrete's gonna go. Very exciting. Let's see how this all looks afterwards. Wow. All right, so apparently I need to pump out this pool at least 6 inches for the cool deck to go in. And remember that valve I put in, I turned that on. I had to rush and pick up a hose, so it's leaking right there. I wanted an 1.5 inch PVC flexible to glue in and make a hose, but this was a rush situation. So there's my pipe. My pool's draining, and it's doing pretty well. A lot better than a well pump that I was using before, or a utility pump. But it did get me. Okay, so all the concrete work's done, and we're gonna finish up the stupid pool repair, hopefully today. And stop it. Oh, that dog. So here's the big reveal. There you go. So you can see the new decking put in. Overall, I would say I'm pleased with it. Finn's even pleased with that old piece of concrete there. How do I put it? I'm not a big fan of the seam that was put in there, but what are you gonna do? The biggest problem I had with this is keeping me from making me really happy with it is this valve that I put in this box. They screwed up the concrete. They didn't realize this lid doesn't fit flush with the top of here. It's on top of it, so when this is down, there's a lip here. I don't know if you can see that. See, there's a lip, which is very unfortunate and a trip hazard. So I'm gonna probably have to cut this section out so that when the lid goes down, it'll at least be flush. So that's work I didn't really want to have to do, but what else you gonna do? So most of this is gonna be pretty boring. All I'm gonna do is compact the ground, get it to a level. When we get sand, I'll put sand on top there, get to the level we want, put the brick on top. Repeat, 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 repeat. Alright, so these are my first two cuts right here. They're not perfect. They aren't supposed to look perfect. It's not something you actually want to try to make look perfect. It looks better with a little bit more irregularities to it anyways. So it's even hard to see how it not even remotely perfect any of this is. I don't know if you saw when I'm making the cuts, you just kind of work the saw back and forth a little bit. Don't try to do it all in one pass, just nibble away at it. The blade itself, if you look at it, there's just grooves, there's no teeth on it, so it's not going to grab your skin and cut you in half. It just abrases its way through, so it's not nearly as dangerous as it probably looks like. It's probably a little dangerous. I'm using this chunk of concrete right here as a base for it, so I'm not cutting into this and definitely not into my new pool deck. So that I've used rather than the bigger ones because they're heavier and I don't want to lift those up. So I'm just going to continue on making all these cuts. Once they're all fit, I'll level it out, put the sand in, and from there on, making good progress. I'll keep doing it. Well, it's all done. Clean it off tomorrow. We're all set. Okay, so this is the last update on this pool. It's been fixed for, I don't know, about a month now. Pool's been running great. Everything's doing great. I just actually had to clean the pool itself. It's the first time I cleaned the pool filters after this whole tragedy. I figured they were completely plugged with dirt, and they were. But I also won the lottery in worst trees ever to have over my pool. So I have these mesquite trees right here. I have 2 of them. And sorry if you saw the sun there. Yeah, the tiniest little leaves get through all the pre-filter baskets. And it seems at least 2 or 3 times a year they bloom. And their blooms aren't tiny little flower, or are the tiniest of little flowers. And so they make mesquite seed pods. So it's just this fine dust that I have to skim out daily while they're blooming. But here it is, the pool's running. I'm standing on my new deck. Now I'm not. And of course there is the where the trench used to be. So life is wonderful. Now I have a little succulent garden going on over here my wife put in, along with some better plants than I had before. So it's really coming together. It's like the A-team. Ugh.